Hello all, how are you all? Hope you people are doing fine. As we all know that we are with the chapter How do organisms reproduce? And we have already completed our discussion on asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction in plants. Okay, and today we are with sexual reproduction in humans. Fine. Say, like we discussed, we already started the sexual reproduction, and we very well know that sexual reproduction includes the two parents, yes or no, male, female, and male one produces male germ cells, female one produces female germ cells. Both of them will combine, and you get a new organisms, right? That we have seen it in plants in the last video. In a similar way, we also see it in a humans. Yeah. So what I would like you all to remember is, say, even in humans, the male one and female one has to be there, and the male one will have special organs inside him, which we call it as reproductive organ, and that particular organ is meant for reproduction mainly. Clear? Like, say for example, heart is meant for pumping the blood, brain is meant for controlling each and every actions, right? So like that, we have an organ which we call it as reproductive organ, which is mainly meant for reproduction. Clear? So male will have his own reproductive organ. Clear? In the similar way, female also would be having reproductive organ in her body, isn't it? So they have their own reproductive specialized organs, which is only mainly meant for reproduction. Clear? And you know, these reproductive organs will produce gametes. Okay, so here the male reproductive organ produces the male gamete, or we also call it as male germ cell. Okay, so in human, the male gamete is also called as sperm. The male gamete is called sperm. Clear? So similarly, even in the female also, the female gamete is produced. The female gamete is called as egg or ova. Okay, the name of a male gamete is sperm. The name of a female gamete is egg or ova. Clear? And both sperm and ova must come near to each other. They must meet and they must undergo fusion. Okay, so on fusion of sperm and egg has to take place, and this is what we actually call it as fertilization. What do we call it as? Fertilization, isn't it? So once the fertilization occurs, that means male gamete fused with the female gamete, you would get a zygote. Zygote. You know, zygote is a single cell structure. Single cell is formed, and this single cell goes on dividing further. You know, one cell becomes two cell becomes four cell, four becomes 8 becomes 16, 32, 64, like that. Okay, so that multiple cells, the zygote that divides into so many cells, isn't it, that we will call it as embryo. Okay, and this embryo later forms, develops into fetus. Fetus in the sense, it's like a small baby that is developing in the woman's body, right? So single cell further divides to become embryo, and embryo, all these cells will become specialized. Okay, and they will form a special tissues become into various organs like kidney, spinal cord, brain, and etc. Like that, too many organs, specialized organs would be created from tissues, isn't it? And that now the new organism is getting ready, its body parts are getting produced, and that is what we will call it as fetus. Okay, so this is some overview on sexual reproduction in human. And one point you have to remember is the reproductive organs do not produce gametes right from birth. Okay, the reproductive organs must undergo certain level of maturation. Okay, see, the moment a new individual, boy or a girl born, they can't able to produce the sperm or egg. Only at a certain age the humans can able to produce a male gamete and a female gamete, and that age we will call it as puberty. Okay, and now let us try to learn about certain things, that is puberty. So what is puberty? It is a time period in life, where germ cells, what do you mean by germ cells, guys? Gametes. Okay, germ cells starts producing in humans. Okay, in other words, I can also say that the reproductive organs become mature. Okay, so both in male and female, once the reproductive organ becomes mature, only then they can produce the sperms in male as well as egg in female. Okay, and that age we actually call it as puberty. So what is that age? It is about, the puberty age starts from 12 years onwards. Okay, so the age of 12 to 16 is called a puberty age, where boys and girls develop certain characters physically, okay, and mentally, emotionally also. Okay, where what is actually happening inside the body? The reproductive organs are getting mature. Okay, they are now ready for producing the gametes. Clear? And such a age we will call it as puberty. And how do you know that the reproductive organs are getting mature? You can come to know by observing certain physical changes in the bodies of both boys and girls. And now let us see what physical changes that you can observe at this particular age when the reproductive organs are becoming matured. Okay, fine. See, the common changes observed in both boys and girls, or males or females, during puberty. Okay, so these changes are common, like you can observe these changes that I list now are common, that you can observe both in males and females. Clear? So the first and important change that you can observe at this particular age is growth of thick hair in armpits in the sense underarms, okay, and genital parts, genital or just genitals. What do you mean by genitals? Private parts of both boys and girls. Thick hair starts growing. This is one of the major character. And the second one is the skin becomes oily. The effect can be shown even on the skin also, and sometimes this may lead to pimples. Yes, so this is a common problem both in boys and girls at this particular age, isn't it? Fine. And now let us start studying the changes that is observed only in males. Changes only in males. Okay, growth of thick facial hair. Growth of thick hair on face. Yes, beard and all will get grown at this particular age. And the second one is voice gets cracked. Their voice also changes at this particular age. So these are the two main changes that you can observe in males during puberty time. Okay, and now let us see the changes only in females. Changes only in females. Okay, the first and foremost is the size of the breast increases. Size of breast increases. Okay, the mammary glands starts maturing in the breast area. And the second one is menstruation starts. Menstruation starts. Okay, anyway, you are going to learn more details about menstruation little later. Fine. And these are the changes that actually telling us that the reproductive organs in a particular male and female is becoming active to produce the sperms in case of males and egg or ova in case of female. Okay, so remember, say these sperms and egg will never be produced right after the birth. For them to get produced in a body, reproductive organ must become mature. Only then they can be produced inside the body. And how do you know that reproductive organs are becoming maturing? It is by observing these physical changes in both males and females. Clear? And now what we are going to learn is about the male reproductive organ now. Okay, so we need to understand each and every part of male reproductive organ and later female reproductive organ, and later we will study how the fertilization, that is fusion of sperm and egg, occurs. Okay, and later about menstruation. Clear? So this is all about the human reproduction you are going to learn. See guys, this is the diagram of male reproductive system. Now let us try to label the various parts of male reproductive system actually. And first and foremost, let me list out what parts can be present in male reproductive system. Okay, so the first and important part here is testis. Okay, and later vas deferens. Vas deferens. And the third one is urethra. Urethra and penis. Okay, so these are the four major parts of male reproductive system, and one more part, that is certain glands are also present in a organ. We call them as associate glands. Associate glands. Okay, and now let us try to figure out which part is present where. Clear? See guys, this thing, what you can observe this, right? So this is what we call it as testis. This is testis. Okay, and testis is always present in a skin-like structure. Okay, in the abdominal cavity, and that is called scrotum. Scrotum. This skin-like structure is called scrotum, and inside that testes are there. Actually, there are two testes present in scrotum. Clear? And and to this testis there is a connecting tube. You can see this pink color tube running all over, isn't it? And this is what we call vas deferens. Vas deferens, very important part of male reproductive system, vas deferens. Okay, and let us start knowing its use, like which part does what work. We will see that also later. And this is actually a urinary bladder, guys. Okay, this is a bladder, urinary bladder. Okay, and you see vas deferens is coming and it is getting joined with urethra. You see this urine pipe and vas deferens have connected with each other, isn't it? And this is what we call it as urethra. And urethra is covered with the skin-like structure. We call this as a penis. Clear? And there are certain glands here associated with vas deferens. You know, this is seminal vesicle. This is seminal vesicle. Okay, and these glands are called prostate glands. Prostate gland. Okay, so those two we call them as associate glands. I mentioned associate glands, isn't it? So what do you mean by associate gland? One is this gland, we call it as seminal vesicle. And another gland is there, that is prostate gland. Clear? And now let us try to learn about each and every part in detail. Okay? And first and foremost, testis. So two testes are present in the scrotum area. How many testes? Two testes present in scrotum. Okay, skin-like structure in the abdominal cavity is scrotum. So what will the testis do? Testis is the guy which actually produces sperms. This is the one that creates sperms. Okay, so testis produces sperms. Okay, and testis also produces a hormone called testosterone. Testis produces or it creates an hormone we studied in the previous chapter, isn't it? Hormone called testosterone. Okay, what will the testosterone do? Testosterone helps in developing male sex characters. Like we have seen in case of males, when the reproductive organ gets matured, you can observe the thick hair growth on a face, isn't it? Their voice will crack. You know, all these changes is because the testosterone hormone is getting produced in their body. Okay, so these are the two main functions of testis. One is to produce sperms, that is the male gamete is getting produced. Okay, and the other one is it is also producing an hormone called testosterone. Clear? So the use of testosterone you have studied in the previous chapter, that is developing the male sex characters. Clear? Fine. And now actually why is this testis is present in a scrotum? Why is it separately present outside the body in the abdominal cavity? Is because sperm production needs lesser temperature. Okay, for the production of sperm, the temperature has to be 2 to 3 degrees lesser than the body temperature. So what is the normal body temperature actually? 36 degrees centigrade or 37 degrees centigrade. But to produce a sperm, the temperature has to be 32 or 33. 2 to 3 degree temperature has to be less. So in the scrotum area, that lesser temperature is observed. Okay, that's the reason testis is always present in a scrotum. Okay, so note a point here. Note a point. Testis is present in a scrotum. Okay, is because sperms are produced at lesser temperature. At lesser temperature. Okay, that is 2 to 3 degrees lesser than our body temperature. Fine. So this is all about the testis. Later, let us try to learn about the vas difference. What will this vas difference does? Vas difference, very important thing in male reproductive system. See, this vas difference actually carries the sperms that are produced in the testis. Okay, and this carries to urethra. Clear, everybody? So what I can write here is vas difference transports or carries sperms to urethra. You see, this pink color tube is what vas difference. Later it is joining to urinary tube, urethra. Okay, it will join to urethra. Clear? Say this is a bladder, guys, urinary bladder, right? And you know, from the urinary bladder, urinary tube is running, and that is urethra. You all know urethra in the sense through which urine is passed. You know, from the urethra itself, the sperms also can be passed. So here urethra is the common passage for both urine and sperms. Clear? Fine. So vas difference, who will carry the sperms that are produced in the testis? Vas difference carries the sperms, okay, that are produced in a testis to urethra. It is joining to the urethra. Clear? Fine. Next, let us learn about urethra. So urethra, as I just now told that, it is a common passage for both urine and sperms. Clear? Fine. And you know, the covering, skin covering around urethra itself is called penis. Okay, so this skin covering. Fine. And later, let us try to learn about associate glands. The glands actually that help in the main work. You know, which are the associate glands here? Seminal vesicle, and prostate gland. These are called associate glands, guys. Okay, so what do? They actually secrete a fluid, that is a liquid kind of thing is secreted from them. Okay, so what is the use of this fluid? You know, this fluid actually gives a nourishment to the sperm. You know, sperm is a living cell, guys, right? So this is how sperm looks. This is a head part and this is a tail part. You have a nucleus here. Inside the nucleus there is a genetic material. Okay, genetic material from a male parent. You know, it has to carry that genetic material, right? So this is how the sperm looks. And you know, it's a living cell, even it needs a food. So who will give the food? This particular liquid that is secreted from seminal vesicle and prostate glands together. You know, this liquid will give food for the sperms. You know, because of that liquid, you know, they can be alive because it's a living cell. Any living cell require food for its nourishment, isn't it? So what I can write here is, these glands can secrete a fluid which gives nourishment for sperms. for sperms. And also, you know, they help in the easy transport of sperms. Sperms, if they have to move very fastly, you know, that liquid helps the sperms to move very easily. Clear? So what I can write here is helps. This particular fluid helps in easy transport. Easy transport, or transport in the sense what here? It is easy movement of sperms. Okay, so usually sperms plus that fluid is called as semen. Okay, when the sperms mixed up with the fluid, then it is called as semen. Semen in the sense what? Sperms are there in association with the fluid secreted from seminal vesicle and prostate gland. Very important questions, guys. So they would ask you, what is the main purpose of the associate gland, or what is the main purpose of seminal vesicle and prostate gland? Then you have to mention these 2 points. One is that fluid gives food for the sperms, that is nourishment for the sperms, and also the fluid helps in the easy passage of sperms. Okay, so sperms plus that fluid is commonly called as semen. Clear? And this is all about the different parts of the male reproductive system. Okay, so testis is the one where the sperms are actually created, and also there is a hormone created here, that is testosterone, which is very much helpful for developing secondary characters at puberty age. Clear? And later, vas deferens is a tube-like structure that actually carries sperms from testis to urethra, and urethra is a common passage for both urine and sperms, right? And penis is the outer skin covering around urethra. Associate glands are nothing but seminal vesicle and prostate gland, and their use is to give nourishment and also for the easy transport. Clear? So this is what you have to mention if male reproductive system is asked. Clear? Now let us talk about the female reproductive system. See, you can observe the diagram of female reproductive system. You know, female reproductive system includes the 2 ovaries. Okay, so this is one ovary and this is another ovary. So what is this? Ovary. Okay, and you know, there are 2 tubes above the ovary. You know the tube, this is one tube connected to one ovary, another tube connected to another ovary, and this tube is actually called as fallopian tube, or it is also called oviduct. Okay, it is nothing but fallopian tube or oviduct. Yeah, and this bag-like structure is there, no? This is uterus. Uterus. And this a slight opening is cervix. Cervix, and this is vagina. So this constitutes the female reproductive system. Now let us discuss what actually happens in which part. Clear? So first and foremost, let us talk about ovary. Let us talk about ovary. And we have 2 ovaries on either side of the abdomen. Okay, so in the abdominal region, we have 2 ovaries, one on the left side, other one on the right side. Okay, so what I would like to write the first point as 2 ovaries are placed on either side of abdomen. Okay, so one ovary on the right side of the abdomen, the other ovary on the left side of the abdomen. Okay, and the next point is ovaries contain, both the ovaries contain so many immature eggs. So many immature eggs. Even at the time of birth. at the time of birth itself, the female body has ovaries, and in the ovaries you have lots and lots of immature eggs. Very tiny eggs would be there even at the time of birth. Okay, remember, sperms are not produced, not present at the time of birth. Sperms are only produced at the age of puberty. Okay, but the female reproductive system, the ovaries has egg. What is egg? It is a female gamete, isn't it? Eggs are present at the time of birth itself, but they are immature. They become mature on puberty age. Okay, so remember, these immature eggs, these eggs become mature at puberty age. Clear, everybody? Fine. And this is all about the ovary. Okay, and the next part that we are going to learn is about fallopian tube. Okay, it is a tube that connects ovaries to uterus. Okay, so what I can write here is tube that connects ovaries to uterus. Okay, so what actually happens is, in the puberty age, slowly one egg is released every month. Okay, say for example, in this month, if an egg is released from this ovary, then the next month another egg will be released from this ovary. Like that, one egg from one ovary, the other month another egg from another ovary. Okay, like that, every month one egg is released to the fallopian tube. Okay, so the egg becomes mature, it becomes slightly bigger, and it will travel to the fallopian tube. Okay, so in 1 month, if the egg goes to this fallopian tube from this ovary, then the other month, in the next month, the egg from this ovary will be going to this fallopian tube. So this particular thing keeps on occurring throughout the female life. Clear? So one more point you can just mention under ovary. Each egg is released every month. Okay, each egg is released every month from ovary to oviduct. What do you mean by oviduct, guys? Oviduct in the sense fallopian tube. Okay, so what I can write here is fallopian tube is a tube that connects ovaries to uterus, and it accepts mature egg from ovary. And one more important thing that can occur in the fallopian tube, that is fertilization occurs. Okay, remember guys, this is a very, very important point. Fertilization occurs in fallopian tube or oviduct. Okay, that means the sperm comes and meets. The egg now goes to the fallopian tube. It waits for the sperm to come for the fusion, right? So the sperm comes through the vagina and it travels through the cervix and it goes to the fallopian tube, and there it meets the egg, and here the fusion of egg and sperm takes place. Okay, and this is what we call it as fertilization, isn't it? So fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube. Okay, so it can be asked for MCQs. So they'll ask you, fertilization occurs in fallopian tube, ovary, uterus, right? So what is your answer? Fertilization always occurs in the fallopian tube, not in the uterus. Okay, sperm travels all through the way and it goes to the fallopian tube, and there the fusion starts occurring, right? So that's the reason we say fertilization occurs in the fallopian tube. That means zygote is formed in the fallopian tube. Later, that particular zygote will travel to the uterus. Clear, everybody? So, what I can write is the zygote travels to uterus. Okay, the zygote or embryo, where it is produced in the fallopian tube, and from there it travels to the uterus. If it is produced this side, it travels to the uterus. Clear? So this is how fertilization actually happens in the fallopian tube, right? So now you got to know what is present in ovary and what is happening in a fallopian tube. Now let us learn about the importance of uterus. So what do you mean by uterus? Observe the diagram, guys. So this area, the entire bag-like area is called as uterus, right? So what we can write here is fallopian tubes or oviducts. Oviducts unite, they join together into a bag-like structure. Into a bag-like structure called uterus. Okay, so here the development of baby takes place. See, the zygote or embryo will move into the uterus, and there it will grow into fetus. Fetus in the sense what? A small baby that is growing in the mother's womb. Okay, we call it as womb, mother's womb. That is nothing but uterus only will grow into a womb. Clear? For the nourishment of a small baby, which we call it as fetus. So what we can write here? Development of fetus. Fetus in the sense what, guys? Baby. Fetus takes place where? In uterus. Okay, so actually there happens many changes in the uterus. Placenta formation occurs, and so many things occurs in that period. Like what period? The period where the fetus starts developing, okay, into a small baby. Clear? So let us discuss all about them little later. Just try to remember these points about the uterus. Okay, and later cervix and vagina. Nothing much about cervix and vagina. They are just the openings. Okay, so usually uterus opens into vagina through cervix. Okay, got to know? So initially this is one opening, and the cervix gets opened into another opening called vagina. Okay, so usually through the vagina the sperms enters to the uterus first. Later it will travel to the fallopian tube. There it will meet the egg. The fuse, zygote is formed. With this, we have completed the different parts of male reproductive system and the different parts of female reproductive system. So in my next class, we will learn more about the fertilization. Okay, so how does a fertilization occurs and what actually happening in the uterus area during the development of fetus, right? And if fertilization doesn't occur, what happens for the egg that is there in the fallopian tube? Everything we will discuss in the next class. Till then, keep revising the concept. And if you like our video, please like, share and subscribe our channel to learn the concepts in an easier way. Thank you so much.